Alright, what is up, gang? It's July 3rd, day before 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I think what I want to talk about today, something from the last couple practices I had. It's like affirmation of ideas. So like just training and fighting with my personality, I would develop ideas that were out of the box. Or for example, say we get taught something in class and training, and it's like my mind just naturally thinks of a different aspect of it. It's like I can take in what they're doing, but if it doesn't work really smoothly, my mind quickly shifts to something else. And I think I've identified it has a lot to do with words. So it's like I was in class last night, and the instructor was saying, this is the worst position you could be in. Or he was doing a demonstration. He was either saying that the person on the bottom was in the worst position they could be in, or the person on the top was in the best position they could be in, given the scenario we were describing. And in my head, I couldn't help but think, man, I'd rather be there than in this other spot. You know what I mean? And I think it all has to do with the perception of what's the worst. So like if someone is really, if I look up to someone and think they're really tough or really badass or something, and they're telling me that this is the worst thing in the world to go through and deal with, then my approach would be like, I need to be comfortable in that, and I need to get into that as much as I can. So if that's the absolute worst, I am never going to have a worse day than the day I threw myself into that and got familiar with it. And that led me to a bunch of different approaches and stuff. It led me to finding things in a different order than the people around me. And that's not to say it's a better approach by any means. It probably definitely generated conflict, because I'd be doing the opposite of what I was supposed to do. So the instructor is going to be, not necessarily last night, but the instructors over time would be like, no, don't do that. And then I'm a real defensive person, so it's like that can offend me. But anyways, as I get these ideas or whatever on a way to approach something, I don't really like to speak it or tell someone that it works until I feel like I've mastered it and I can kind of do it when I want to do it, like at will in a way. And that could be really challenging at times, because it's going to take months to master something. So it's like I'll go through conversation where I'm trying to explain, and I'm like, guys, there's something there. And those words are something I say a lot, is I'm like, man, there's something there. And that means I haven't quite figured it out, but there is a valuable approach or lesson to be learned in this scenario that we're in, that I'm describing in the moment where I say all that. Now, all that abstract rambling I just did, let me tie it into the actual reality that just occurred. So something that was challenging for me in training through all these years and stuff was, well, I like to go light, and I approach things from like a safe manner. There's multiple reasons for that. One, obviously safety. I want to be able to go to my job the next day and make money and stuff like that, and I don't want to be in pain all the time. And then what I also learned quickly is it attracts other people. If other people are having fun, they're going to keep coming. So then you have better partners, or you have more partners, and then they become better partners because they continue to train. By being safe, you'll train more often, so you get better. There's a lot of reasons for this. So but something you may or may not imagine in the community, and I'm just going to tell it like how it is. You'd have someone like me who's just approaching it for fun, and then perhaps it's like people that are taking it more serious and they want this to be their dream or career. And so we're practicing. I quickly ran into it's like in sparring, I would be touching almost, because I didn't want to hurt my partners and I didn't want to get hurt. And it would be like translating. I would be possibly getting told that it's not going to translate well into a real fight. And I was like, oh yes, it will. And then we'd go some rounds and I'd be able to hit hard. But there's a couple reasons why someone watching that would think that. They weren't out of their minds to think that. And one would be, if you go and watch Connor against, I'm wanting to say Eddie, his hands are out really far. Definitely against Dustin Poirier, the very first time they fought, when Dustin wasn't anywhere near the level he is, he keeps his arms out straight. I didn't realize I was doing that until people started telling me that I was doing that. Or the first time I actually noticed is a training partner was describing or was giving advice to my opponent training partner during a round. They're like, when he gets his hands out, start doing whatever. And I was like, what's he talking about? All right, hold on. I got to pause this for just a second, guys. All right, sorry about that. So I got my hands, I keep my hands out or whatever. And I'm just sort of tapping people. And I can still see it when I watch my training back. Like, I've watched my training back from this week or two. And it's like, man, I see exactly what people were describing and stuff. And it's like, you're just tapping them. But, so when I transition this into harder rounds and whatever, and then you have to hit people hard or whatever, it would still work. And it's because I realized it has to do with proper punching technique and accuracy and precision. So I don't know if I want to give it away in this video, because maybe I want to build a couple more people working with me. I do feel like my schedule's pretty full, so I'm not like actively recruiting people, but I have a manner in which I built the power in my strikes. And the reason I am touch sparring is so that I don't miss. And this is all, everyone that trains under me, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is all stuff I teach sort of from day one or the first month. And anyways, I've got enough people around me that they've got the volume figured out. The first thing I wanted to build in people is their eyes, and then volume, and just the concepts of it. And what's going to come after that, once you work that concept and you're just sort of doing what people call touch sparring, you're going to be like, all right, how does this transition to a real fight? Because I'm just touching these people, I'm not hurting them. So I take them and I put them on my approach to increasing the muscle for those touch striking. And basically, to sum it up, when they do that drill, we go through about 3 different sets of things. And then at the end, I sort of have you do 10, 20, 30 seconds on it, just so that your muscles are still feeling like that. And then you immediately turn around and just hit a heavy bag, like with a 3-piece to 6-piece combo. And when you hit that heavy bag, and I tell you ahead of time, see if you did not hit that heavy bag more powerful than you expected and exert less energy. And it was freaking beautiful, guys. And the first guy I had to do it too, I could see him pausing and thinking, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, whoa, after he hit the heavy bag, he was like, huh, you know? And I didn't quite get the affirmation I wanted out of it. Like, he didn't quite say, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But then the next guy I had to do it, and I was really excited about getting him on it, because he's really, really getting the volume. He's got the volume, and the accuracy is just building over practice. He was like, whoa, or yeah. And he was like, yeah, I see exactly what you mean. And man, that was like opening up a Christmas present, yo. Gosh, that's so exciting. You got to understand how big of a jump that it's just exciting for me, how big of a jump this guy's going to take, because he's where he'll throw 100 to 200 in a 3-minute round. We'll say around 100 to 150, because I don't want to be overstating for people and make them feel like they have expectation on them. But he's already done it, and we're doing it at this touch sparring level. And now he's building the power, and he sees how the power can be there. Dude, he's going to absolutely crack someone going to say something wrong to him one day, and he's just going to pop him. Oh, man. I don't know. It's just really rewarding to get an idea and spend so much time on it, and I guess feel like there's debate on it. I guess there wasn't a ton of debate on it. I just get the feeling like it, because I felt like I hadn't proved it yet. And then when you just finally prove it and get the affirmation and get that confirmation that, hey, this actually works and this is real and you're not crazy. Like, I'm not crazy just out here. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Anyways, it's a war lab. I'm off. Well, I got to work tonight and then I'm off the rest of the week. So if people want to get some rounds, I might actually be going to some other places in town this week. But like and subscribe. And I guess in summary in this, it was really just a diary type video for me for affirmation. But don't be scared to get your own ideas in training and try to prove them true. And you can prove them true to yourself first. That's kind of going to be how you have to do it, so that you have the way to explain it. And then share it with people. And if as long as they're not just arguing and putting it down, they're willing to try, get that confirmation from them to know it actually works. And don't be angry at yourself if you run into a speed bump where one part of it didn't work and you have to adjust it. Like, that's part of the beauty in the journey. But yeah, it's the War Lab. Big time players. We do big things every round. We make that Tootsie Roll.